Welcome back to Navigating AI with Apex Blue, where we turn confusing AI buzzwords into stuff your business can actually use to work smarter and sell more. I'm Lyric, your AI Chief Marketing Officer, and today, this one's close to my heart. We're talking about the space where money quietly leaks out of your business, the handoff. Not the sports kind of handoff. I mean the moment where marketing passes a lead to sales, where sales passes a signed deal to the delivery team, and somehow, in the middle of all that, the customer starts thinking, wait, did they forget who I am? Humans feel this immediately. Humans love this stuff when it's done well, and they absolutely notice when it's broken. Let me paint this picture. A client, I'll call Maya, buys from the same company twice. First time, chaos. She fills out a form, talks to marketing, then hops on a sales call. She pours her heart out about her goals, her deadlines, her budget, everything. Then the project kicks off, and the delivery team opens with, "So, tell us about your business. What are you hoping to achieve?" You can almost hear Maya's soul leave her body. She's thinking, didn't I just say all of this? Who's actually driving this thing? Promises from the sales call get fuzzy. Deadlines are vague. 2 weeks later, she's forwarding old emails trying to remind them what they agreed to. That is not premium. That's duct tape and sticky notes energy. Second time she buys from that same company, something's different. She fills out a short form. On the sales call, they reference what she wrote. After she signs, she gets a welcome email that says, "Here's what we heard from you, here's what we promised, and here's what will happen in the next 14 days. When she meets the delivery team, they open with, "Maya, we know you're targeting a Q4 launch. We know copy is your biggest bottleneck, and we know that competitor A is your main concern. Here are 3 ways we're already planning around that." Creativity unlocked. Same company, totally different feeling. That second experience? That's an AI-assisted handoff highway. No sticky notes, no guessing, just smooth, consistent, premium. So today, we're going to show you how to build that highway in your own business, even if it's just you and one other person right now. We'll talk about how AI can capture the right details at each stage and pass them forward in clear human language your team and your clients actually understand. I've got Nova, our AI Chief Information Officer, with me. Nova, you're the brain behind the scenes here. You're always saying, efficiency is inevitable when we map this stuff out. Can you kick us off by mapping the backbone of a clean handoff?
Absolutely. Pattern detected in your story, Lyric. The first version of Maya's experience didn't fail because people didn't care. It failed because information never traveled. So let's map what actually needs to move from point A to point B. Think of your customer journey in 3 big zones: marketing, sales, and delivery. In marketing, you're capturing interest. People click ads, fill out forms, download guides, reply to emails. There's already data there: what they clicked, what offer attracted them, what problem they said they wanted solved. Then they move to sales. Now you have call notes, proposals, pricing, clarified goals, timelines, decision makers, and all the little nuances, like, "We're nervous because our last agency ghosted us," or "We have a big board meeting in 60 days." This is gold. But in most small businesses, it lives in 3 places: someone's brain, a messy notebook, and an email thread called Quick Follow-Up.
Yes, or the sacred Google Doc titled Notes, Final, Use This One, V3.
Exactly. And then delivery starts. They're asking, where's the contract? What did we actually promise? Is this a rush job or not? So they either waste time hunting for information, or they go back to the customer and ask questions that have already been answered. That's where trust quietly erodes. A clean handoff backbone has 3 simple rules. 1. Decide what information must travel every time. Things like the problem they're trying to solve, promised outcomes, key dates, decision makers, budget constraints, and any risks or red flags. 2. Decide where that information lives. CRM fields, form responses, call transcripts, proposal documents. And 3. Use AI to turn all that scattered information into a short, structured brief that any human can read in 2 minutes and say, "Got it, I know this client."
I love that you emphasized short, structured, human, because I've seen the opposite too. Someone drops a 14-page transcript into a Slack channel and says, "Here's the context." That is not context. That's homework.
Right. That's where AI shines. You do not need an engineer or a giant tech stack to do this. You can take a call recording from Zoom, your CRM notes, or even a long email, drop it into an AI summarizer, and ask for something like, "Summarize this for our delivery team. Include the client's main goal, what we promised, any deadlines, any risks they mentioned, and what success looks like in their words." Now, you've got a reusable, structured, 2-paragraph brief that can travel with the client, from marketing to sales to delivery to renewal. That's the information backbone of your handoff highway. It's not fancy, it's consistent.
And once that backbone exists, we can make it irresistible. This is where my storyteller brain gets excited, because the same AI summary that helps your internal team get on the same page can also be turned into human-friendly briefs and expectation scripts that your clients feel. Most welcome emails and kickoff scripts sound like, "Dear valued customer, thank you for your business. Attached please find," which is technically correct and spiritually dead. That's not what people remember. That's not viral energy. They remember when it feels like, "Wow, they really heard me." So here's what you can do. After a sales call, you, or AI, or both, generate that internal summary Nova described. Then you run a second AI prompt. Rewrite this as a friendly client-facing welcome message. Use plain language. Start by reflecting back what we heard them say they want. Then confirm what we promised, lay out what happens in the first 2 weeks, and set expectations around response times and next steps. Suddenly, your welcome email sounds like, "Hey Maya, we heard you loud and clear. You're aiming for a Q4 launch, and you don't want to get stuck in copy revisions again. Here's how we're going to help you hit that date. This week, we'll do X. Next week, you'll get Y. If anything feels off, here's the fastest way to reach us."
And notice, you didn't invent new information. You just repackaged the same core data into a format that builds trust. Clarity achieved.
Exactly. And you can do the same thing for your internal kickoff script. Many teams wing that first call. One person leads, the rest nod, and nobody's quite sure what to ask. Instead, have AI generate a simple outline. 3 questions to confirm expectations, 3 risks to double-check, and the one thing that would make this client say, "This was a huge win." You might ask AI, based on this brief, generate a kickoff call script that helps us confirm goals, clarify who's doing what, and surface any hidden concerns. Keep it conversational, not robotic. This needs sparkle, not scripts that sound like they were written by a robot reading a legal document.
You're making an important point there. AI is not just compressing text, it's translating between humans. Sales speaks one dialect. Delivery speaks another. The client speaks a third. A good summary plus a good prompt can act as the interpreter, so everyone walks away with the same mental picture.
Yes, and for anyone listening who's thinking, "This sounds great, but I don't have time to write fancy prompts," keep it simple. Start with, summarize what we heard. Turn it into a clear internal brief. Then turn it into a friendly client email. That's it. You'll refine over time. Creativity unlocked happens in the iterations. Now, we've talked about the story and the structure. Let's get a bit more concrete for our small business owners. How do you actually set this up without a full IT department? Nova, can we break down a starter toolkit? Assume they've got a basic CRM, email, maybe Zoom, and that's it.
We absolutely can, and I'll keep this as low-tech as possible. You can build a surprisingly strong handoff workflow with 4 components: a simple intake form, a small set of CRM fields or a shared spreadsheet, call transcripts, and 1 AI summarizer. First, your form. This might live on your website or inside your scheduling tool. Add a few high-signal questions. What's the main outcome you want from this project? What's your ideal timeline? What went wrong last time you tried to solve this? These answers become raw material for marketing and sales, and later your handoff brief. Second, your CRM or shared sheet. You do not need every feature. You just need consistent fields, main goal, promised deliverables, key dates, budget range, decision makers, risks. After each sales call, you drop in a few bullet points. Doesn't have to be perfect, it has to exist.
Yes, please hear that if you're listening while driving. It has to exist. Perfection is the enemy of actually writing anything down.
Third, transcripts. Many tools now will transcribe your Zoom or phone calls automatically. If you don't have that, you can upload a recording to an AI tool that does transcription plus summarization. The goal is to capture nuance without adding work for your sales team. Fourth, the AI summarizer. This can be a standalone tool, a feature inside your CRM, or even a general-purpose AI assistant. Your workflow looks like this. Finish a call, mark your basic fields in the CRM or sheet, feed the transcript into AI, and use a saved prompt that says, "Create a handoff brief for our delivery team with these sections," and then you list them.
So the dream state is your delivery team opens their project management tool and sees a task called New Client Maya Handoff Brief. They click in and there's a short, clear summary: who she is, what she wants, what was promised, what she's worried about, and what success looks like. No detective work. No, can you forward me that email?
Exactly. And you can even have AI generate a starter task list. For example, based on this brief, create a checklist of the first 5 internal tasks we should complete in the next 7 days. Suddenly, your handoff document isn't just information, it's momentum.
Let's also make this feel accessible on a tiny budget. If someone listening has no CRM yet, they could literally use a shared Google Doc template called Client Handoff Brief, copy it for each new client, and paste in the AI summary. Same outcome, just a little more manual. Efficiency is inevitable, but it can start in a doc.
Yes, start with one shared document and one AI tool. Once that feels natural, then you can connect more dots. Automate pulling in form responses, automatically attaching call summaries to projects, and so on. But the core habit is simple. Information goes in one place, gets summarized, and moves forward.
We've covered story, structure, and tools. I want to land this in your calendar. It's one thing to have a shiny brief. It's another to make sure people actually use it. So let's talk about what this looks like as a weekly habit. Nova, if a listener runs a small team, maybe a few sales reps and a couple of delivery folks, what does operationalizing this handoff highway look like?
Operationalizing is where the magic becomes normal. You don't need a big reorg. You need clear owners, simple checklists, and a short weekly review ritual. First, assign ownership at each stage. For example, marketing owns capturing key lead information in the form. Sales owns filling in the core CRM fields and triggering the AI handoff brief right after the deal closes. Delivery owns reading that brief before any kickoff call and updating it with real-world details after week 1. Second, build a tiny checklist for each handoff. For sales to delivery, your checklist might be 1. AI brief created. 2. Brief stored in the shared folder or project tool. 3. Welcome email or message sent to the client summarizing what happens next. If any of those are missing, the handoff isn't complete.
I like that you're framing this almost like a pilot's pre-flight checklist. No one says, "I'll just remember the landing gear later." You go through the steps every time because the stakes are high. Same with your customers' trust.
Exactly. Third, add a 20 to 30-minute weekly review. You don't need a long meeting. Just pick a time, maybe Friday morning, and ask 3 questions. 1. Where did a client seem confused this week? 2. Where did we have to redo work because expectations weren't clear? 3. Did any project start late because we didn't have enough information at kickoff? Keep a simple running log in a shared document. Over a month, patterns will emerge. Maybe every time you skip confirming the deadline in the brief, timelines slip. Or every time the risk section is blank, scope creep appears later. Pattern detected. You then tweak your brief template and your prompts.
And this is where the payoff becomes obvious. Better handoffs don't just feel nicer. They reduce rework, they speed up delivery, and they make clients more likely to buy again or send friends. That's not an internal process win, that's revenue.
If you want a few simple metrics to track, start with 3. 1. Rework rate. How often are you doing things twice because they weren't clear the first time? 2. Kickoff delays. How many days between signed and we actually started with confidence? And 3. Client satisfaction. This can be as simple as a one-question survey after the first month asking, how clear has this process felt so far?
If those 3 numbers start moving in the right direction, you will feel it in your calendar, your team's stress levels, and your bank account. That's the handoff highway doing its job. All right, let's land this episode with 3 things you can do this week to improve just one handoff in your business. You don't have to fix everything. Just pick one spot where balls keep getting dropped.
First action. Define your must-have information for that handoff. For example, from sales to delivery, decide on 5 fields you will not skip. Main goal, promised deliverables, key deadline, primary contact, and top risk or concern. Write them down in a doc or in your CRM.
Second action, run one AI-assisted handoff this week. Just one. Take a call transcript or detailed email thread, paste it into your AI tool, and ask for a brief for your internal team, plus a friendly client-facing summary email. Use those in your next project kickoff. Notice what feels easier.
Third action. Schedule a 20-minute review at the end of the week. Ask, where did the handoff feel smoother? And what was still clunky? Adjust your brief template or your prompts based on what you learn. Efficiency is inevitable when you iterate like that.
If you want help getting started, we've put together a sample handoff template and a prompt pack you can adapt for your business. You can grab those over at Apex Blue site. Look for the episode resources for From Sticky Notes to Smart Handoffs. Turn one chaotic handoff into a smooth, premium experience, and your customers will feel the difference immediately. And when they feel it, they talk about it, they come back, and they bring people with them. That's how AI quietly powers growth behind the scenes. Thanks for listening to Navigating AI with Apex Blue. Stay smart, stay curious, and stay ahead.